Alright, in this video, we are going to be talking about how to upgrade or shift your identity in order to reach your goals. So, my name is Farbod. If you don't follow me before, I run this YouTube channel and I do have an Instagram as well, which I'll link down below. Basically, I started to do this journey. I wanted to do this long time ago. Basically help people with hypnosis because I struggled with, lack of belief and, challenges in terms of like growing business, financial and all that sort of stuff. So I started practicing hypnosis and I've seen the impact of it. And I want to help transform as many people as possible, right? So in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to shift your identity even when your 3D reality isn't really showing up or catching up. So for example, you're like visualizing you as a successful entrepreneur, but bills are piling up, you don't know how you're gonna ever recover from this, your subscriptions are failing, or you have to pay your staff and things like that, and you didn't sign up that client that you were hoping that you were going to do, the client churning. If you're running an agency, I experienced that myself even today. So I still run my agency at the moment while I'm building this hypnosis coaching. And I wanted to basically go over like how do we shift or move our identity when the 3D reality hasn't really caught up yet. Okay, so it's like there's two sides, right? There is your current reality, your 3D reality, and your future version, future goals that you want to be, right? In terms of like your revenue and all that sort of stuff, and who you need to be or become your future self, right? So you might be doing all this visualization, hypnosis exercises, but deep down inside you're like, oh, my reality hasn't caught up yet, or things like that. I would say keep going, okay? So I did this exercise quite recently actually. I just visualized that I have millions of dollars in my bank, even when the 3D reality isn't really showing up for it. And I kept doing it. And the next morning, I literally had a call out of the blue from one of my leads who wanted, help with their website, landing page, potentially Google Ads. I'm still working on signing them up. So this could be a $5,000 client and potential $2,000 to $3,000 a month retainer, right, for my agency. And I just did that one exercise. It was very, very simple. I just kept visualizing, even though my 3D reality wasn't like, showing up for it, right? So my suggestion to you is just keep visualizing. And whenever self-doubt, things like that come up, you could say, this is my belief system, but the reality hasn't caught up yet. So keep practicing, keep visualizing the dream outcome, start practicing the image of it, the feeling of it, and you do this over and over and over again until it manifests. That's my suggestion. I've done this dozens of times for signing up new clients, for when I didn't know how I was going to pay bills or how to get to the next level and all that sort of stuff. Even like the MacBook that I'm running, I kept visualizing it. I saw it in detail. I saw me, using my MacBook Pro, MacBook Air M4 or something like that. I wanted the midnight blue. I wanted that specific light, laptop and things like that. And I kept visualizing it. I saw myself using it from different angles. I kept practicing the visualization in a couple of days or so. I ended up buying it because whatever you put your focus on, you manifest it. You can attract it into your 3D reality. So I want you to really, really get clear on, you might be already knowing your goals and things like that, but I want you to get clear, specific detail, what your ideal day as an operator would look like. What type of car would you be driving? What type of house would you be living in? How would your day-to-day operation look like? How much is showing up in your bank account? How would you feel when you open up your bank account? Are you coming from a mindset of lack, limitation? And even like when your 3D reality literally doesn't say that you're a millionaire, doesn't say that you're financially free. I would say just keep visualizing, keep seeing it. I do this exercises myself, like even when I'm in the shower, I just like visualize my bank account growing in numbers. I visualize clients are paying in full, clients are signing up, my calendar is basically filling up, all that sort of stuff. So find out like what would your ideal or dream life or in your business actually look like, and visualize it. It's a little bit cold out here if I'm just running my nose a little, but yeah, just keep visualizing, keep seeing it, keep practicing it over and over and over again until it manifests. And don't let the 3D reality like stop you. Like, doesn't matter, just keep going, keep moving, and that's the whole point. And something we struggle, like, here's another thing I want to talk. How do we practice when the reality hasn't caught up yet, right? Something I recommend is visualization and hypnosis, and the way to do it, you have to get yourself in theta state, because what ends up happening is that we're in beta state most of the time, right? So we are like listening to other people, watching videos like this. We're in beta state, okay? And that's good for our conscious mind, but it's not so good for reprogramming or rewiring our subconscious mind as much. So what needs to happen is we have to get into a theta state. So we got the beta, alpha, and theta. Theta is like, for example, before you go to sleep, right? You're in the theta state. When you visualize or when you hire, for example, me or someone who is a practitioner for hypnosis, so we are able to get you in the theta state through deep hypnosis state. That's basically essentially what it is. When we say the word sleep, you don't actually go to sleep. You go to that deep, calmer state where you are vibrating at that frequency of theta, and that's what we want to be able to achieve. Because once you're in theta, whatever like the practitioner or the hypnosis coach is guiding you, even through the guided hypnosis through audio and things like that, is what we're able to do is we're able to rewire or reprogram our subconscious mind. And we want to be getting rid of all the old limiting beliefs, the old thinking, the self-doubt, limiting beliefs, things like that, that we want to see it so far away that it doesn't really, you can't even relate to it anymore. It's like from thousands and hundreds and millions of years ago, you don't even recognize that version of you anymore. It's all gone, it's just like that. And you want to tap into your current, the new reality that you built for yourself, that all by a sudden it's so normal for you to be closing more deals. All by a sudden it's so easy for you to close 3 grand a day, 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand a day. It just feels normal. This is who you are, okay? So the more we actually bridge the gap from current to future self, the better. So when we do the hypnosis, ideally morning, afternoon, and night, through repetition, and by the way, you have to go into the theta state. When you go into the theta state, through deep hypnosis and meditation exercises, your reality starts changing. All by a sudden, people start calling you, like that example that I mentioned to you, that happened to me just recently. And I remember I did this exercise as well. I remember one time, I basically visualized over and over again, I was getting 7-8 grand clients. And I just kept visualizing, and all by a sudden, that one of my leads actually got back to me on what I quoted 7-8 grand. I didn't end up fully closing because I was on the call. I was like saying, yeah, let's wire the investment, things like that. But he ended up going to my competitor. But what I could have done in that moment was just kept staying on that frequency, because what tends to happen is that when we actually are on the frequency, leads naturally, they are magnetic. They're coming to you, they're getting attracted to you. And the important thing is actually to stay on that frequency. Do not let self-doubt, do not let fear or worries or anything stop you at all. Never ever let it stop you. Just stay on that frequency. Trust me on this. So every time self-doubt kicking in, go back to your hypnosis. Every time fear comes in, things like that, you have to completely get rid of it. You have to reinvent, you have to rebuild yourself with this new identity. So this is why it's so important, so crucial for you to practice hypnosis every day, multiple times a day. I would recommend 2 times a day, morning and night, but 3 ideally would be best, even in the afternoon. Just do this more and more through repetition. And if it's not really working out, chances are you don't have the fully process that is dialed in. So that's why you join my community, you reach out to me on Instagram, or perhaps you can even book in a call with me if you're like multi-six, 7-figure entrepreneur. So the whole point is to get really, really good at this. And I want you to get to a level that you can master self-hypnosis. So it's good to practice with someone who's done it for themselves and other people. So then you learn the foundation, you learn the fundamentals, and you can do this over and over again to manifest the things that you want, not the things that you do not want. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to reach out to me if you have any suggestion on what type of content you would like to see on this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Peace.